Aloha, this is Aja Eyre with the weekly update coming from Maui Pono Network. And this is the week of September 18th. And we hope that this video finds you happy and housed and somewhat in a safe situation. Just kind of to hit on where we are with wildfires, I think you've seen the news that they're going to start allowing people to return to their properties. And we just urge caution. There's still not a lot of toxology information available as far as what is there, what you might be breathing. A reminder to get your N95 masks or more. Wash the clothes that you have on when you go. Even if you're just in the area, if you're up by Lahaina Luna where some of the homes did not burn, or you're visiting one of the distribution sites. LA Cochrane has one up by Lahaina Luna. There are a couple closer to Lahaina Marketplace and such. Just make sure that you're mindful of potential toxic substances in the air, fine particulates. Be careful not to breathe. Wear a mask. Even if you're just driving through, it might be wise to protect yourselves. And if you are going to a property that has had fire damage, again, just be mindful that when you start digging through that and you're, I've had my own wildfire and it's tempting to just kind of rummage through the ashes. Keep in mind that there's a lot of things that have burned there. It's not just wood and papers and mementos. There's the chemicals that have burned that can be harmful to your health in the long term. So just ask everyone, please be careful, because we care about you and we don't want you to be harmed. Couple other things too with the wildfires is a lot of Kula still does not have safe water. And what is going on with that? We just really aren't getting good answers. But a reminder to everybody, if you've been affected by the wildfires, even if you didn't lose your home or lose property, but you are suffering with the Kula water issues, you can and should register with FEMA, because you are qualified for financial assistance from FEMA, and you should be making an insurance claim because you don't have use of your utilities. So if you have homeowners or renters insurance, you actually have, you can get compensation for not having access to utilities. And also today is the last day to register for Red Cross financial assistance. So it would be a good thing for you to do that if you haven't done that already, if you get this video in time. And then October 6th is the deadline for FEMA registration. Again, FEMA registration is just for financial assistance. It doesn't have anything to do with anything else except just getting assistance for the things that you've dealt with and had to cover for yourself, and just relocation, all the things that have been wrapped up in the wildfire disaster. Even if it just, and I say just with quotation marks around it, because my friends who are in Kula that still don't have water have a very challenging day-to-day life. But even if that's all you're dealing with, you should still be registering with FEMA and getting financial recompense and financial help from FEMA and the other do-gooders out there, such as Red Cross and the other financial assistance programs. Okay, so what happened this last week? We did talk about the protest that was going to happen on Tuesday. It happened before the Housing and Land Use Committee of the Maui County Council. There's people out there protesting, asking for the rights to be protected of those in the Lahaina area and other areas where they had dealt with the wildfire disaster. Now, this wasn't directly related, but it was. A couple of days after this, the governor did change that emergency proclamation. So the governor made an emergency proclamation that kind of stripped away a lot of the protections that we have for development, and it somehow got looped in there. There were some sunshine law protections that were also ignored. They didn't have, you couldn't have testimonies for developments and changes and all these things. It was just kind of a strange emergency proclamation. Well, let's be honest, all emergency proclamations are a bit strange. They're definitely there to say, we know what's best, and our democratic system of government doesn't know what's best, so we're going to do it. That's how I feel about emergency proclamations. But my Pono Network is very wary of it. We feel like the state should not be ruling by emergency proclamation. It's not the democratic way to do it. It's not open. It's not fair. It doesn't allow for voices of people. However, I do want to give kudos to Governor Green for changing that previously bad emergency proclamation is something that's a little more digestible, I think, for the public, and it does retain sunshine law protections. So the meetings will be open. The main person resigned, and now we have 3 positions there. And supposedly they're going to be a lot more open. They're going to focus more on affordable housing with the emergency proclamation they had previously, and less on developments. And I think that's helped people with their fears about this and what could happen. Also, it was pointed out that Lahaina is not going to be under this emergency proclamation, so the people there can be assured that their property rights will not be stepped over with the ordinances and laws and building protections that are there. So Lahaina will get to retain those. They will not be affected by this emergency proclamation. So they say, but we will watch this. We're kind of keeping a pulse on it. It just happened a few days ago that the emergency proclamation was changed. A couple other things is on Wednesday, September 27th. So that's next week. They're going to have a continuation of the GREAT committee with the county council, which is talking about the resolution for a comprehensive resiliency plan for those affected by the wildfire disasters. So that's going to be at 9 a.m. and they're actually holding it in person on the west side at the Westin Resort in, oh, now I can't remember what room it's in, but it's in one of the conference rooms there. So if you're on the west side and you would like to contribute your voice to this resolution, again, this isn't an ordinance. So what passes will be a recommendation to the administration and the council and potentially the state on how the resiliency plan will unfold and how ordinances and laws and registration, or sorry, and keep saying registration and resolutions, future resolutions will coalesce into, what happens with Lahaina. So the resolution isn't, I'm trying to say that resolution isn't a law. It's just supposed to be kind of a guiding light for anything that passes in relation to the wildfire resiliency. In other words, how things are rebuilt and how we operate as a county based on what's happened in the past. So that is Wednesday, September 27th, 9 a.m. at the Westin on the west side. Couple other things. This is, and I'm actually glad that we're going to end on this. The ADEP Committee, we also talked about this, that they met last week on Wednesday, and they had 2 fire experts. They had one woman who helps with wildfire planning and protection, and then they also had someone who's with University of Hawaii who has been sounding the alarm for a long time. They had a lot of great information. We're going to put some sound bites or some clips, some video clips from their presentations. If you have the time to watch the entire presentation, it's very informative. It'll help you understand a little more of what went wrong. I think one of the key points from this is that the fires were not just climate change. This is a really amazing thing for someone to actually go out on the record and say, but it's not just climate change. This is it was the result of systemic issues, the things that have been building up over time. And that's why it's important for all of us to be informed about what the experts are saying about what caused a fire and how we can go forward and be resilient to wildfires in the future in our community. So we would love for everybody to get educated on that. And that's why we're taking the time to put together these clips, kind of the key points. So you'll be able to watch those on our website. Give us a couple days, probably towards the end of this week, and they'll be on there. And we'll make sure that we link those in the next email coming out next week once they're available. So good things happening in the county, hard things happening in the county. But our community has really come together. There have been, especially what we've seen with the distribution sites. There's one at Napili Park that's like a public county partnership. Kemoku Kapu is at the Sheraton doing distribution. There's a bunch of churches that have mobilized and organized. And as hard as this has all been, it has really warmed everyone's heart. I'm sure that you agree with me on how much the community has come together and how much they've helped each other. So good work to everyone out there. If you haven't had an opportunity to help and volunteer, don't worry. We're in this for the long haul. This is going to be years. So just keep up your good health and your good spirits, and let's continue to help our community. And you can help a lot by staying informed and sharing these things with your neighbors and friends. Aloha. Again, this is Aja Eyre with Maui Pono Network, and we'll see you next week.